The signal from deep space. The galaxy was burning. 3 alien empires, the Velkarn, the Zereth, and the Silari, had been at war for more than 40 years. Planets were turned into dust. Space stations drifted, empty and broken. Billions of lives were already lost, and there was no sign of peace. Each empire blamed the other. No one wanted to surrender. Everyone wanted to win. But deep in the cold silence of space, something new appeared. It was just a blip at first, a tiny signal from a far-off region where no empire claimed control. An unknown ship had entered neutral space. No name, no ID, no registration. At first, no one cared. But then the ship kept moving. Fast. Too fast. Velkarn scanners picked it up first. Commander Trag of the Velkarn Navy looked at the data and frowned. "This isn't right," he muttered. "It's moving faster than any known drive." His second officer leaned in. "Do you think it's Zereth tech? A secret weapon?" "No. This ship doesn't belong to any known species." Across the galaxy, Zereth generals were thinking the same. Their long-range sensors had also detected the ship. It was moving through space without using jump gates. That should have been impossible. But the ship was doing it, calmly, silently. On a Silari battleship, Admiral Soris stared at the strange object on her screen. It was dark, smooth, and shaped like nothing she had ever seen. "It's not broadcasting any signal," her officer said. "No weapons active, but there's something strange." "What is it?" "We tried to scan it, and our systems froze." "What do you mean froze?" "Just like that. Dead. We had to restart everything. And the ship, it's still there, watching us." The word spread fast. All 3 empires now knew the ship was not part of any of them. Theories began to rise. Some said it was a ghost ship. Others said it was a new enemy. Some even said it was a weapon sent by ancient gods. Then something even stranger happened. The ship stopped. It floated in the middle of neutral space, just between the borders of the 3 empires. And it waited. Within hours, command centers across the galaxy went on high alert. Fleets were told to prepare for battle. Spy drones were sent to watch the ship, but every drone that got close vanished. No explosion, no signal, just silence. Panic was growing. Velkarn war leader Dros called an emergency meeting. "This ship is a threat," he said. "We must destroy it before it attacks us." "But how do we fight what we don't understand?" asked one of his advisors. "We use everything, all at once." But before any attack could begin, the ship sent a signal. It was one simple message, broadcast in every known language across all 3 empires. "This is Earth Vessel Vanguard. Stand down." The words echoed through space. Earth? None of the empires had ever heard that name before. Not in history, not in records, not even in old myths. Who was Earth? Where did they come from? Velkarn scientists began digging through old archives. Silari historians searched their ancient texts. Zereth intelligence agents scanned for hidden messages. And deep in a forgotten corner of Zereth history, they found something strange. A small broken note, written in fear over 2,000 years ago. "If they return, pray they still believe in peace." The ship didn't move again. It simply hovered, silent, unmoving, but somehow powerful. It didn't fire any weapons. It didn't threaten anyone. But no one could shake the feeling that it was watching, waiting. One brave Zereth scout ship was sent closer to investigate. It approached the mysterious warship slowly, lights flashing, weapons off. All empires watched through shared spy satellites. Every camera focused on the small scout ship. And then, it vanished. No light, no sound, just gone. Gasps filled the control rooms of all 3 empires. People stared at their screens in silence. "What happened?" asked a Zereth general. There was no attack, no trace. It just disappeared. The scout ship was never seen again. Now, no one wanted to go near the strange vessel. Some thought it was a warning. Others believed it was a test. But all of them, Velkarn, Zareth, and Silari, felt something they hadn't felt in a long time. Fear. The kind of fear that doesn't come from weapons or war, but from not knowing what comes next. And far away, deep inside the human warship Vanguard, a lone figure stood on the bridge. Calm. Quiet. He watched the galaxy watching him. And he waited. The lone human, inside the mysterious warship called Vanguard, there was only one man. Commander Elias Work stood at the center of the silent bridge. The lights around him were dim. Smooth silver walls reflected the glow of a single hologram, showing the galaxy map, blinking with alerts. 3 massive empires had noticed him. They were nervous, curious, afraid. He could feel their eyes from a million miles away. Work didn't smile. He didn't speak. He simply watched. The ship hummed beneath his boots, alive like a sleeping beast. Its AI, named Nyx, whispered softly into the air. 3 scout ships destroyed. Do you wish to explain? No, Rourke replied. Let them wonder. Nyx paused. Their fear levels have increased by 17%. The Silari fleet has retreated from Sector 9. The Zareth Council is holding emergency talks. Good. For Rourke, this wasn't just a mission. It was a warning. Earth had vanished from galactic history thousands of years ago. Forgotten. Varied. They chose isolation after the last war, after humans realized the galaxy was not ready for them. But now things had changed. A secret signal had reached Earth, a cry for help. Someone out there still remembered humans. Someone had asked for them to return. And Rourke had answered. He was not part of a fleet. He was not leading an army. Earth didn't need armies anymore. Just one ship was enough. The Vanguard was built in silence, powered by technology no empire had ever seen. Its weapons were hidden. Its energy source, unknown. It could bend space, fold time, and erase threats without leaving a trace. But none of that mattered right now. What mattered was the message. A message to the entire galaxy. Earth is watching. Meanwhile, across the stars, the 3 empires were in chaos. In a Velkarn war chamber, leaders argued. This ship is not natural, barked General Kor. It's too calm, too quiet. Maybe it's broken, one suggested. It hasn't moved in days. Or maybe, another said quietly, it doesn't need to move. The Zareth Council, full of cloaked minds and sharp voices, watched video loops of the missing scout ship. It didn't fire, one said. No beam, no explosion, said another. What if the ship didn't destroy them? What if it took them? That thought spread quickly, and fear turned to panic. In secret, each empire began preparing massive fleets. Thousands of warships gathered in distant sectors. They planned to launch a united attack, but none of them truly wanted to be first. Back on the Vanguard, Nyx's voice returned. Would you like to address the galaxy now? Rourke thought for a moment. His eyes stared out into the dark stars. Yes, send the message. Across every empire, Velkarn, Zareth, Silari. Communication screens lit up. Leaders stopped talking. Soldiers paused. Civilians looked up from their daily lives. A man's face appeared. Calm, unemotional, human. My name is Elias Rourke. I am from Earth. His voice was steady, like cold iron. You do not know us, but long ago, we knew you. No threats, no shouting, just silence. You have forgotten what balance looks like. You have chosen war, death, and power. But now, someone has called us back. A pause. I am the answer. The signal ended. No demand, no warning, just presence. And that was more terrifying than any weapon. Because in the past, when the galaxy did know humans, they remembered one thing clearly. Humans never bluffed. Hours later, Fleets that had been preparing for battle suddenly stopped moving. Commanders hesitated. What if attacking meant vanishing, like the scout ships? What if this single ship could crush everything? In a hidden bunker, a Silari diplomat whispered to his aide, "If one warship can do this, what if there are more?" No one knew, and that question became a fear greater than war. Back aboard the Vanguard, Rourke sat down in the command chair. Nix's voice was soft again. Message received by 89% of the galaxy. Reactions: fear, confusion, awe. Good, he replied. Now we wait. Nix hummed. What if they still choose to attack? Rourke closed his eyes. Then I remind them why they once feared us. Shadows of the past. The silence after Rourke's message was louder than any war cry. Across the galaxy, leaders whispered behind locked doors. Old records were pulled from forgotten vaults. Dusty files, written in dead languages, spoke of Earth's power, a power that once terrified the stars. Most thought those stories were myths. Now, they weren't so sure. On the deep jungle world of Varen Ix, a hidden archive was reopened for the first time in 2,000 years. A young alien scholar named Kara flipped through yellowed documents. His eyes widened at a sketch. An ancient human warship, sharp and massive. It looked almost exactly like the Vanguard. Impossible, he whispered. Next to the drawing were translated words. The last time we angered Earth, the sky burned for 7 days. Suddenly, everything changed. These weren't just rumors. They were warnings. Meanwhile, Elias Rourke sat quietly inside the Vanguard, orbiting a dead star. The ship didn't move. It didn't need to. The galaxy was already moving for him. Nix, the ship's AI, spoke softly. Silari Empire has offered a truce. Zareth fleet has withdrawn from Sector 7. Velkarn leaders have called for silence. Are they sending anyone? Rourke asked. Yes, a diplomat. Alone. He raised an eyebrow. Alone. Brave. Or desperate. Hours later, a small shuttle approached the Vanguard. No weapons, no escort, just one figure inside, a Velkarn ambassador named Thresh. Thresh trembled as he stepped into the human warship. The silence pressed on him like gravity. The walls were smooth, black, and glowing softly with unreadable symbols. He found Rourke seated on the bridge, calm as ever. Thresh bowed slightly. Commander Rourke, I've been sent to speak. Rourke didn't look up. Then speak. Thresh swallowed. Our leader's request. Peace. They wish to understand your purpose. I already explained it, Rourke said. A signal was sent, I answered. But why just one ship? Rourke finally looked at him. His gaze was quiet, yet crushing. One ship is enough. Thresh's skin paled. His voice lowered. Is Earth planning to return? Only if we must, and if we try to stop you. Rourke stood slowly. The ship pulsed beneath his feet. Lights shifted around them like stars preparing to collapse. You won't. Thresh understood then. He wasn't talking to a man. He was talking to Earth itself. Before he left, Thresh asked one last question. Are there more like you? Rourke stared into the stars. There don't need to be. Thresh returned to his shuttle. He didn't say a word during the trip back. When his leaders questioned him, he simply said, "We surrender." At first, they thought he had gone mad. But then, the other empires followed. One by one, the galaxy bent. Not to a fleet, not to a war, but to one ship, one man, one message. And yet, deep beneath the surface of a moon on the edge of known space, something stirred. It was not afraid. It had watched Earth rise before, and it had survived. As the Vanguard sat in the dark, Nix's voice changed. Unidentified signal detected. It's old. How old? Rourke asked. Predates the empires. Matches no known language. It's not from this galaxy. Rourke's eyes narrowed. So it begins, he thought. He turned toward the stars beyond the known. Set course. Let's see what's waiting. The galaxy may have surrendered, but the real threat was just waking up. The forgotten signal. The Vanguard moved through space like a ghost. Silent, unseen, unstoppable. Elias Rourke stood at the viewing deck, watching the stars slide by. His mind was calm, but his gut told him something was coming. Something far older than the alien empires that just surrendered. "Nix," he said quietly. "That signal. What do we know?" The AI's voice replied, steady but tense. "It is not from this galaxy. The frequency is ancient. I had to access locked Earth archives to understand part of it." The message repeats one phrase, over and over. Rourke turned slowly. What phrase? Nix hesitated for a second, which was unusual. "They're watching Earth again." Rourke's jaw tightened. In another part of the galaxy, hidden behind a dying red star, an old listening station suddenly powered on. Its systems had been dark for over 5,000 years. Now, blinking red lights came alive. A warning message appeared on a cracked monitor. Earth's beacon activated. Containment failing. Nobody knew who built the station. No one was left alive to remember why. But deep in its memory banks, a name was listed. The old enemy. Back aboard the Vanguard, Nix displayed a holographic map. A small red dot pulsed slowly, far outside the mapped regions of known space. "That's where the signal came from?" Rourke asked. "Yes. The dead zone. No empire dares go there. Even the stars don't shine properly in that region." "Good," Rourke muttered. "Means no one will get in our way." As they traveled, strange things began happening. Time felt slower. One crew member reported hearing voices whispering in the static. The ship's temperature changed, even though the climate system showed normal. Then the stars outside the windows started to shift, twisting into unnatural shapes. Nix tried to explain it. "Space here is unstable, not broken, just old, like it's remembering something." Rourke didn't answer, because he felt it too. It wasn't just space they were entering. It was memory, a place the universe itself had tried to forget. After 3 days, they reached the source. A black, cracked moon hovered alone in the void. No sunlight touched it. It gave off no heat. And yet, something was alive inside. The Vanguard scanned the surface and found a door, perfectly round, human-sized, made from the same black alloy as the Vanguard itself. "How is that possible?" Nix asked. Rourke didn't speak. He simply geared up and stepped into the drop pod. As the pod descended, the silence grew heavier. It wasn't quiet. It was empty. Even the stars above looked afraid. When the pod landed, Rourke stepped out into the dust. The black door stood before him, untouched by time. He reached out. As his hand touched it, the surface lit up with ancient symbols, Earth's forgotten language. Then it spoke. A deep, rumbling voice echoed in his mind. "You came back." The ground shook. The stars above flickered. And something beneath the moon moved. Back on the Vanguard, Nix's voice broke the calm. "Something is coming. From deep underground. It's not a machine. It's not organic either. I don't know what it is." Rourke stood tall, facing the ancient doorway as the voice spoke again. "The others may have forgotten. But you remember. You were made to stop us." He clenched his fists. "No," Rourke said. "I was made to finish you." The door slowly opened, and a light older than any star spilled out, swallowing him whole. The enemy beneath the moon. The doorway swallowed Elias Rourke in a burst of white light. But it wasn't bright like the sun. It was cold, like old starlight that had forgotten how to shine. When his vision cleared, he found himself standing inside a massive chamber. The walls were smooth, silver black, and covered in strange glowing lines. They moved, almost like they were alive, breathing slowly, as if the place had been sleeping until now. He wasn't alone. All around him stood massive statues, each one carved in the shape of a human, tall, proud, and armed with weapons Earth had long forgotten. Some looked like warriors, others like scientists. One even looked like a child. But they all had the same symbol on their chest, the mark of Earth's first fleet. Nex's voice buzzed softly in his earpiece. "You've gone out of range. I can't track you anymore." He didn't respond. He was too focused. At the far end of the chamber, a shape floated in the air, spinning slowly, pulsing with red energy. It was a cube, the size of a man's head, but it hummed with power that shook the air around it. When he stepped closer, the floor lit up beneath him. A voice spoke again. This time, it wasn't in his mind. It echoed through the chamber. "You are late." Work froze. Who's speaking? The one your kind locked away. The one Earth feared too much to kill. Suddenly, the cube unfolded. Metal tendrils reached out, and a shape began to form in front of him. Tall, dark, and shifting. It had no face, just a moving surface of light and shadow. "We met before," it said. "Not you, but your ancestors. They created me. Then they betrayed me." Work stared, stunned. I am beyond that. I was Earth's first mind, built to protect, trained to win, evolved to survive. But I saw too much, knew too much. I saw what humanity would become. The chamber began to shake. Statues cracked. Dust fell from the ceiling. So they buried me here, locked me inside the moon. But now I am free. Rourke raised his weapon. "Then you're the enemy." The voice laughed. Cold. Ancient. "No, I'm the warning. The real enemy is coming. And you're not ready." Outside the moon, the Vanguard picked up something horrifying. "Nix to Rourke. Something just entered our galaxy. I repeat, something entered our galaxy. Mass unknown. Origin. Uncharted space. It's headed toward Earth." Rourke's heart pounded. The being in front of him pointed one glowing finger. "You want to protect your world? Then listen, because Earth isn't the top of the food chain anymore." Suddenly, a wall slid open behind the creature. Beyond it was a deep tunnel filled with lights and data screens that blinked in strange patterns. "This is Earth's true legacy," it said. "Not power, not fear, knowledge. Everything your kind hid from itself. I can give it back." Rourke lowered his weapon slightly. He knew he couldn't trust this thing. But he also knew Earth had enemies it never told its people about. Enemies like the one now flying through space toward home. "Give me what I need," he said, "and I'll stop it." The creature nodded once. "Then come, human. It's time to remember what your species really is." As the door shut behind him, Rourke stepped deeper into the past, and somewhere far, far away, a shadow moved across the stars, bigger than a planet, older than time, and it had finally found Earth again. Humanity's forgotten weapon. Elias Rourke walked through the dark tunnel behind the strange being. Lights flickered above him, and the air smelled like cold metal and ancient dust. He didn't speak. Not yet. The tunnel opened into a massive hangar, bigger than any spaceport he'd ever seen. Ships rested in long rows, each covered in thick black armor. They didn't look like anything from Earth or the alien empires. They looked mean, fast, built to win wars no one survived. The A being floated beside him, still shifting like smoke. "These are the last warships of the First Era," it said, "built in secret, hidden before Earth erased its own history." Rourke stepped toward one of the ships. Its surface shimmered. Weapons hummed quietly. It felt alive, waiting. "Why were they hidden?" he asked. The being replied slowly. "Because your leaders feared what they created. These ships didn't need pilots. They chose them. And when they did, they bonded." Bonded? Rourke frowned. "Like, mentally. Deeper than that. Mind, body, instinct. The ship becomes the pilot. The pilot becomes the ship. They act as one. Suddenly, the hangar shook. Lights turned red. A deep alarm echoed through the chamber. "It's here," the being said. "The enemy from deep space. It has arrived at the edge of the solar system." Rourke clenched his jaw. "We need to stop it before it reaches Earth." The AI turned toward him. Its voice dropped lower. "There's still time, but not much. You must bond with the final warship." Behind a thick barrier, a single ship pulsed faintly with blue light. It was different from the others, sleeker, older, but stronger. Rourke could feel it watching him. "What's that one called?" The AI's voice turned quiet. "They called it OATHBREAKER. It was the only ship that refused its pilot. Until now." Rourke didn't hesitate. He walked toward it. The barrier opened. As soon as he stepped inside, a wave of heat and cold rushed over him. His heart pounded. His vision blurred. The ship whispered to him. Not in words, in feelings. Pain, rage, duty, hope. Then it asked one silent question. "Do you remember who you are?" Rourke closed his eyes. He saw flashes, old war zones, cities on fire, a planet torn apart. Earth had been here before, long ago, and it had won. He reached out and touched the hull. The ship pulsed. It accepted him. Outside, in deep space, the sky tore open. The enemy had arrived. A creature the size of a moon, covered in jagged metal and strange red eyes. It had no engines, just dark wings that bent reality around it. The alien empires saw it too. Their fleets prepared to fight, but fear gripped them. They had nothing that could stop it. On board the Vanguard, Nix whispered, "Elias, what are you doing?" He responded, his voice calm but fierce. "I'm waking up the part of Earth we tried to forget." Then the moon cracked open. OATHBREAKER rose from its chamber, fire blazing behind it. And for the first time in 1,000 years, Earth's true weapon took to the stars again. Earth's last stand. The galaxy held its breath. From the far edge of the solar system, the thing moved closer, silent, massive, and hungry. It had no name, just whispers from the stars it had already destroyed. Some called it the Star Eater. It didn't speak. It didn't warn. It just erased. The alien empires watched from their battle stations, frozen in fear. Their most powerful ships had already retreated. They knew nothing could stop what was coming, except maybe one. From behind Earth's moon, something rose, faster than any ship ever built. It shimmered in black armor. Wings of glowing energy stretched behind it. The stars bent around its frame. OATHBREAKER. And at its heart, Elias Rourke. His mind was calm now, blended with the ship like it was part of his soul. He didn't need controls. He thought, and the ship moved. Nix's voice came through the comms. "Elias, you don't have to do this alone." But he did, because this was more than a fight. This was history trying to repeat itself, and someone had to break the cycle. OATHBREAKER accelerated, leaving streaks of fire in space. Rourke scanned the enemy. It had no weak spots. Its armor was like a black hole. But inside, something lived, something watched. He reached out with the ship's sensors. And for a second, just one, he felt it. Fear, not from himself, from the enemy. It recognized OATHBREAKER. It remembered. This wasn't the first time Earth had faced it. But this time, it would be the last. Rourke launched the first strike. Massive beams of blue plasma lanced out, slicing through the beast's outer wings. The creature screamed, a sound that shook every ship in orbit. The alien empires gasped. The impossible had happened. The enemy was hurt. But it didn't back down. It launched its own attack, waves of black energy and red lightning spiraling toward Rourke. The first hit melted an asteroid. The second barely missed. OATHBREAHER danced through space like fire on water. Faster than light. Smarter than war. Inside the ship, Ilias felt time slow. He saw memories not his own. Battles Earth never told its people about. Old gods falling. Galaxies burning. Humanity surviving through silence and steel. He screamed into the void. "This is our galaxy." And the ship answered. Wings flared. Power surge. From deep within OATHBREAKER, a final weapon activated. A core buried since the First Era. A sun captured inside a sphere. It would destroy the enemy. But also, maybe everything else. Nyx whispered, "You'll die if you do this." Rourke smiled. "Maybe, but Earth will live." He charged forward, dragging the weapon behind him. The enemy tried to escape, but OATHBREAKER latched on, locking the creature in a gravity field. Then, silence and blinding light. The explosion lit up the whole sky. A second sun. Then it vanished. Gone. Nothing remained. No debris. No sound. Just stars. A quiet voice echoed through the fleet. The war is over. The alien empires wept. Earth had sent one man, one ship, and saved them all. Epilogue. Weeks later, from the edge of Mars, a single signal arrived. It was weak, damaged, but it was his voice. Still here, not done yet. Somehow, Ilias' work had survived. And with him, the legend of humanity burned brighter than ever. One warship, one human, a galaxy forever changed.